Hey YouTube, my name's Stephen Hunt. I'm going to talk to you today about something that totally changed my life from the day that I was born, growing up as a kid into my teenage years, and then now into my 20s. Something that as a kid I never really struggled with. I never really had problems with this. I never felt the lack thereof. Especially into my teenage years, I had an abundance of this thing. But as I've grown into my 20s, I kind of have had moments where I've come in and out of this. And what I'm talking about here is passion. And I'm not talking about a passion of a relationship type passion. What I am talking about is passion described as a strong and barely controllable emotion. For myself, I define it as something that's relentless in the pursuit of a dream or a goal, a feeling of relentlessness in pursuit of that thing, whether it's a dream, it's a goal, or anything. If something were to come into the way of that goal, of that dream, then it was useless. It was a problem. It was something that was holding me back. So passion is this uncontrollable feeling or desire of the pursuit of this goal, of this dream that you have. And so I'm going to talk to you today about that because I've experienced both the high and the lows of being a passionate person, especially if you struggle with passion or the lack of passion or direction with where you're going. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So let's jump right in. I think one of the biggest things about passion and one of the biggest benefits about passion is it is one of the biggest influences and best things that you can have in this life. In relationships, passion leads to healthy, lively experiences and emotions with each other, which is something that we all desire. If you're in a relationship with somebody, if it's dull and monotonous, it's unbearable. It becomes the exact opposite of what a relationship should be, which is fun, exciting, and loving. But without passion, all of those things go away and it becomes the exact opposite. Passion in school, if you're a student, this might relate to you. Passion in school means that you're on fire for learning a subject or learning everything that you can about your degree or your major or science class or chemistry or something that interests you so that you can be best in your field. Without that passion, you then become mediocre. You fall behind in class. Passion in school is something that drives you to become very knowledgeable in your degree field, in your career, in your major, where it's something that drives you to be better, drives you to be the best. And without it, you're not engaging properly in your studies, in your school, and you're wasting your time without passion. Passion in business, which is very relevant to me as a business owner, means everything. It means that you're the first to lead from the front. You can take your people and your company from where they are today to where they need to be in the future. This is why passion is so important. Passion gives life its fervor. Passion gives life its meaning, its purpose is passion. So what do you do when you have lack of passion? What does life look like? I said it earlier, it's dull, it's monotonous. You wake up every day feeling like there might be no meaning or purpose to that day. You're just kind of going through the motions. And trust me, I've been there. There's been many times in my life, especially as I've moved into college and graduated college or still working on graduating college right now, that passion has left me and I felt much more monotonous, much more dull, much more without a purpose or without something that I'm working towards. Or maybe I was working towards something and it didn't mean anything because I wasn't passionate about it. So with these things, I hope you're picking up that passion is one of the most important things to have in life if you want to be a high achiever. If you want to grow or achieve something of great renown or specialty, it's important to be passionate about something in those lines because that passion is going to be the thing that drives you from where you are today to the person that you dream of being someday. It's going to be passion. If you clicked on this video, you're probably sitting here saying, I don't know what I'm passionate about. Or you might be saying, I used to be passionate about this, but I don't know if I'm passionate anymore. Let me get to the root cause of lack of passion. I think lack of passion can be easily translated into lack of clarity. When you're not clear about what you want, when you're not clear about what you're working for or working towards, when you're not clear about these things, it's very easy for us as people to get into a groove of go through the motions. Now, let me explain. Whenever I was in high school, I had a dream of playing in college basketball, like many people do. And in practice every day, I was one of the more talented players on our team. I would hit some shots, I'd make my layups, I would get by. I was a big fish in a small pond, basically. And as I continued to go my freshman year, my sophomore year, I didn't really improve a lot. Though I loved the sport, though I was passionate about the sport, I didn't have a lot of clarity of how to achieve what I was trying to achieve. And so my first 2.5 years in sports were highly mediocre. If you look at the grand scheme of sports and athletes and what they're able to achieve and accomplish now, it makes me in those years look very mediocre. And it wasn't until after my junior year where I realized that if I were to play in college basketball, I was going to have to be capable and able and more able than anybody else on my team. And I was going to have to be one of the best in the state, at least, in order to go play in college. And so into my junior year, this is kind of a late time to figure this out. This was towards the end of my junior year. So I was kind of on a time crunch. So I suddenly found lots of clarity in what it looked like to be a collegiate player. To be a collegiate player, I had to be best in the state. I had to be very confident in all my skills, and not just confident, but actually back it up. I had to be able to perform when it counted. I had to have a clutch factor. I had to have these things, and I started defining these things. And I did that by looking at the people that were doing that, collegiate players that I knew, professional players, and I would start to describe them. How would I describe someone like Steph Curry? How would I describe someone like Grayson Allen? How would I describe somebody like Devin Booker or Kyrie Irving? These people were confident. They were skillful, they were competent, and they knew exactly, they had no doubts in their mind. And me, in my junior year, I had many doubts, which led to a lack of clarity. Though I had some passion towards the sport, and I loved playing the sport, I didn't have passion towards my goal of driving towards a collegiate career because I lacked clarity. And clarity is so important if you're going to be passionate about something, or if you want to achieve something special, you have to have clarity. So what I did, I defined what it looked like to be the person that I wanted to be. That was the first thing. And by defining those things, I then had a clear goal. I had a clear vision of who I was supposed to become. Now you might say, Stephen, how do you define what you want to be? What if I don't even know what I want to be? Okay, good question. Look to somebody who you admire. Look to somebody who you think is cool. It can be as simple as that. Somebody that you think is cool, is fun, makes you laugh, inspires you, somebody you look up to. It could be a number of those things. And start naming traits about them that you like. Maybe it's people from your friends, from your class, from your work, from your job, from school, from your family. What are the traits of the people around you that you like and that stand out to you and that inspire you or make you feel good? And when you start identifying those things, you start to identify what matters to you, what you care about, what you like. And by identifying these traits, you then get to have a picture, a vision of who you could become, what you could become, and therefore you have clarity. So my senior year, I found clarity towards what it would look like to be a college basketball player, and I started working urgently, imperatively, passionately, day in, day out, to make sure I became that person before my time was up. Because I had a time crunch. I had 1 year to become a collegiate player, where previously I was just going through the motions. I didn't have clarity. After receiving clarity, I only had 1 year to make this happen. Long story short, I did get to play college basketball. I played 2 years at a junior college and then did a semester before I took a gap year to then focus on other things. I didn't have a illustrious college career, but I did achieve my goal. And I learned much more about myself and about life during that time of pursuing that thing, pursuing college basketball, than I ever would have if I didn't have that clarity, if I didn't have that thing. If I didn't learn those things at that time, my senior year, I wouldn't be talking to you about this today. Learning this lesson gave me an incredible advantage and leg up in my life. So clarity is very important. Whenever I did have lack of clarity, I noticed that I didn't have as much drive. I didn't have as much direction. I didn't have an innate connection with who I was becoming or what I was doing because I didn't know. I didn't have that clarity. And this often came either before or after I was feeling depressed. or I was feeling down on myself. I was feeling a certain way, like I was out of control of who I was becoming or what I was doing. And because I felt that way, I lacked clarity, I lacked passion, I lacked purpose. I felt sad. I felt depressed. I felt behind in life. And if you're experiencing these things, it might very well be because you don't have clarity of who you want to be and what you want to become. If you're confused about how to find clarity, go look for the people that inspire you, make you feel good, make you laugh, you look up to, and start naming character traits of what they do, or how they act, or how they talk, or how they feel, or who they are that inspire you and that you would like to emulate. And write them down. I encourage you to write them down, because writing it down, even if you don't look at it every day, even if you don't look at it every week, even if you forget about it, if you write it down once, it means more to you in your brain. Your subconscious absorbs that. Another thing that I've done that's really helped me out is trying new activities. I started to say yes to everything that was presented to me. Now, not every single thing that was presented to me. I wasn't going to do something crazy or that went against my moral code or who I was as a person. As long as I was authentically myself and I wanted to go try this thing, or I wanted to push myself outside of my comfort zone or go do something different, I was more than happy to say yes and challenge myself and push myself outside my comfort zone to try new activities. And by trying new activities, that put me in different lights and different modes and different places, which allowed me to experience different things. And when you experience things that you're not used to, you start to learn more about yourself. You start to learn more about what you care about and what matters to you. Also, when you try new things, you also meet new people. And by meeting new people, once again, you're learning more about yourself, the type of people that you like, the type of people that you attract, and the way you treat people. The way you treat people is very important to be aware of, because oftentimes it goes unspoken. Most times people don't tell you, especially when they're first meeting you, hey, you said that the other day and that really offended me. If you're just meeting somebody for the first or second time, they're not going to tell you or be honest with you. They're trying to be friendly and sociable as well, just like you are. So if you're not aware of how you treat people or how you talk to people, that can eventually lead to problems for you. So it's very important that you remain aware of how you meet people, how you talk to people, so that when you do meet new people, you're learning more about yourself. Another thing that helps me with getting clear is trying hard things. Not just trying new things, but doing the hard stuff. I had an opportunity within my company that I work with now to step up and go through an advancement where I got to run my own business for a summer. Now, it was very scary. It was very intimidating. I never run a business before. I was 21 years old. I had some training from my manager, but previous to that, I had never been in business. I had never thought about running a business, starting a business. That was not who I was. But this was something that was going to challenge me. This is something that I knew would allow me to grow in such a way that it would change me totally and forever. By doing something so scary, so challenging, so intimidating, it changed who I was. And I said yes to that because I knew that was going to happen. So trying hard things changes you as a person, which can then give you more clarity, because once again, you're learning more about yourself. And I decided to do this hard thing. Even though it was hard, I went headfirst all in because I knew that I was going to change as a person. And that gave me clarity. It gave me the clarity to what I was capable of, who I could be if I really put my mind to the things that I wanted to do. And so it gave me a lot of clarity. Lastly, I'll say two last things about this is don't give up. Don't give up with finding this clarity. Don't give up. And when things get hard, you have to push through. And I think one of the biggest things to finding clarity is finding a personal connection in what you're doing to what matters to you. Oftentimes people go through life with a mentality of, well, it's just what I have to do. It's going through the motions. It's doing a number of these things. But at the end of the day, everybody has the same 24 hours. At the end of the day, everybody has the same 24 hours. And some people are making a difference in the world, and some people are barely living in this world. You get to choose. So you need to find something that connects with you personally. What you do is connecting with you as a person, personally, things that you care about that make a difference for you. And by doing this, it's going to be much easier to be passionate about it because you truly care about it. It's not something that you're forcing. If I can take a step back and just be transparent with you guys for a moment, passion is not a 24/7 thing. It is something that comes and goes. It is something that fluctuates, different levels, different wavelengths of passion. even though this is something that I feel very confident in this subject, it's something that I oftentimes struggle with as well, where I lose passion, I lose my purpose, I lose my why. So here's what I'll say. Finding your passion, finding this clarity is a journey. It's a walk. My encouragement to you is don't give up. Take these things that I've talked about, use them and put them into actions, put them into things that you do regularly, daily, weekly, and share this with a friend so that you guys can walk through this together, so that it's not just yourself. I encourage you to go find someone to walk through this with you so that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. You're not alone in pursuing this passion and finding this passion, because someday, if you do find this passion, you will lose it again and you will need to find it once more. And if you do have this passion, I bet you're going to lose it again and you're going to need somebody to help you get back on track. And if you don't have this passion, keep the faith, keep going, don't give up, find this clarity, take these steps, and hopefully, in my experience, this has helped me. So I hope this helps you too. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this helps. Leave any comments, leave any tips or advice, suggestions, thoughts, experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to comment back and have a conversation with you. And if this stood out to you, or if you think somebody needs to hear this, then share this with a friend. And I'd love to hear some feedback. So thank you guys. God bless.